Hey everybody, I'm Sarah, the Real Simple Mama, and here's my flock of girls. And we're going to talk today about apple cider vinegar, what it is, how it helps your chickens, when you would want to use it or not use it, what the hell is it anyway. So what I try to do with all of my videos is teach you what I know, and as I learn, I try to do better, and I try to help you do better as well. So apple cider vinegar is an additive that it has a lot of potential health benefits for people, but there's also ways that you could use it with your chickens. And I have been an advocate of it for a while for a couple of different reasons. For the first reason, apple cider vinegar is really inexpensive. That bottle right there, which I'll show you in a minute, lasts me probably 2 months, close to 2 months, and it's like $6. I use it as a water additive, and I'll go more into that in a minute. But essentially, it's not expensive, and it's also one of those remedies that you can use that really doesn't have a lot of dangerous side effects. I certainly like things that aren't really controversial when it comes to, some people like it, but some people hate it, but it has potential dangers, but then you might want to use it anyway. Apple cider vinegar is one of those things where there's not really anybody who hates it and says it's really dangerous and it's really a problem or anything like that. So it's very low risk. But I've learned some things recently, and I wanted to teach you about it because, of course, like I said, as I learn, and I try to do better than I did before, I need to pass that information on. So this video is going to be about apple cider vinegar, how it helps chickens, things like that. So pretty much the only way, because it's a liquid, the only way that you would really be able to use it for your chickens is a water additive. And the sort of universal dosage is you add about 1 tablespoon per gallon to your chicken's water. And you want to make sure that you take, you're cleaning out your chicken's water at minimum once a week. For me, it's about once every 5 days, and I spray and clean out. That's a 5-gallon bucket. So I add 5 tablespoons of apple cider vinegar to it and mix it up. And then your chickens just drink it, obviously in with their water. So that's what I already knew. Now let's talk about what is apple cider vinegar. Like, how do you make it? There are recipes for you to do it online. It's not labor intensive, but it is, it is something that takes a while. Essentially, apple cider vinegar is apples that have been fermented. So you need water and you need sugar and you need thyme. And there are recipes, like I just pinned one to my Pinterest that I found of how you can make your own at home using like apple scraps, like apple cores, apple peels, things like that. But I mean, you have to have mason jars, and you have to make sure that everything's very sterile and all that kind of stuff. The only kind of apple cider vinegar that you want to use for your chickens, and this is the quote-unquote more expensive apple cider vinegar, but it's still really cheap. There might be other kinds that are, you see the red tab down towards the bottom where it says with the mother, and that basically just means that it's got the weird crap in it in the bottom, or sometimes the stuff that's like floating around at the top that almost looks like it might be like mold, or like if you've ever been to the beach and there's like old dead seaweed coming in, like that's kind of what it looks like. But you're looking for raw and unfiltered and unpasteurized, which basically means they've left all that gunk in there. They haven't tried to filter it out or anything like that. So anything that you use for your chickens, and this is the brand that I found. There's a brand that's at Tractor Supply also that tries to mimic the way this one looks, and I don't think it's as good. I think this Bragg is the brand. I think Bragg is the best, but that's just me. But you can see this is 32 ounces, and I think it's like between $6 and $8. And if you're using a couple of tablespoons at a time, it's going to last you a couple of months. So we're talking about fermented apples, right, with water, and of course you have to have sugar to be able to do that, and it taking time. And again, it being unpasteurized and unfiltered means that all of the gunk is still in there because you need that good bacteria. So what exactly does it do for chickens? Like, why would I want to do this? And again, one of the reasons that I like this remedy is because it's pretty much like no risk. Like, there's not a chance that, like diatomaceous earth and poultry dust and some of those other things that people like to use, and I use it too, but I use it sparingly. I'm not like, super gung-ho about those products, because like diatomaceous earth, which is sort of like a dust that you can mix in where your chickens dust bathe and things like that, and it can help keep pests away and keep them off of your birds, and something like a deterrent like that. But it's dangerous for you to breathe it in, and there's other things to where people are kind of like, I don't feel the need to do that, so I'm not going to. Apple cider vinegar doesn't really have any risk at all for the most part. So what it does is it helps just clean the gut of your chickens and helps them. Of course, we're not talking about bacteria. We're talking about like actual parasites, worms, that kind of thing. Some people also put raw garlic and, like have garlic, you peel it and then you just have it so that the garlic oil is coming out, and they put that in the chicken's water. But that water has to be changed more often, and it's also unsafe for mammals like dogs. So you have to be more careful with that. So apple cider vinegar is kind of like, you put it in there and then you don't worry about it and it's fine. Okay, so that's all information that if you've watched all of my videos, first of all, I'm sorry. But second of all, that's all stuff that I've talked about before. So what's new? What I've learned about recently is that you don't need to give it to your chickens all the time. So I'm going to do another video within the next couple of days about soft shell eggs, or like shell-less eggs. I'm just waiting to do the video until I get another one so I could show it to you. And I mean, it's a medical thing. It means that there's something not normal with your chicken and you've got to figure it out. Okay, so I was asking on the chicken forums, which again is a lot of people who are smarter than I am in the San Antonio area, and I said, hey, this is going on, what's the deal? And somebody said, do you put apple cider vinegar in your water, which is normally a very good thing? And I said yes, and normally I do it, every single time I've been cleaning my chicken's water, probably for about 6 months. And they said, go ahead and give your chickens a break from that for a while. We're talking about the alkalinity of your water, and also as the weather starts to get hotter, you don't want your chickens to have that in their system. So this is sort of the point of the video where I'm getting here like on minute 7, so I apologize. But if you are an advocate of apple cider vinegar, I would say that normally I am totally an advocate. And what I'm talking about now, the new updated information that I'm giving you is, not new and updated for the universe. It's new and updated for me because I'm not that smart. But I just wanted to say like, oh crap, I learned something new that's sort of like, yeah, apple cider vinegar is great. But read the small print. You need to give your chickens a break from it for a while, to where you're just giving them plain water for a while. And you also need to give it less or not at all during the hotter months of the year. So that was something that I didn't know. So what I'm doing now, and I've recommended this before, but if you don't have like a chicken journal, like a chicken keeping diary or a notebook that's just the data on, this is when so-and-so was hatched, I got them from here, this is the brand of food that I give them, I did the deworming medication on this date. That's just sort of like a medical log. It's not like, dear diary, today I, whatever. But it's just you keeping data. And if you know me, I love data, I love statistics, I love analyzing, numbers and keeping track of when I did this. And then, I started this on this date and I noticed that the chickens laid more, or I noticed that their shells were stronger, or whatever. I love finding correlations and doing data analysis. So I added that starting yesterday, I cleaned out their 5-gallon thing and I sprayed it down really well, and I did not add apple cider vinegar. So they're going to have plain water for a little while. And then the other changes that I did, I don't know if you're really observant, you've noticed this over here, that little chick feeder, and there's something over there too. That's going to be in the video about the soft shell eggs. So I'm just making a little bit of adjustments. And again, if it comes to the benefit of our animals, or saving you money, or doing better for, for our birds, which is ultimately doing better for your health and your family, then I certainly wanted to come on here and admit, hey, there was something I didn't know, but now I know, so now I'm telling you. So if you live in a warmer climate, here in South Texas, we are barely getting up to 80, but it's like a very cloudy, very windy 80 degrees. We're supposed to have bad storms all through the rest of the weekend. So heat is not a concern yet. But certainly as it gets warmer, and as I notice this sort of soft shell dilemma going on, I wanted to see, is this potentially something that I need to adjust? So now I know, so now you know. Apple cider vinegar is great on a normal basis, just as a healthy thing for the gut of your chickens, for, helping with, these are pets that live outside. So ultimately they're around bugs and different kinds of worms and flies and all kinds of stuff like that. So, but like everything, it's smart to have a balance. And so my chickens are going to have, oh my goodness, look at this mess. My chickens are going to have plain water for a little while. I'm going to keep track on how long they have not had apple cider vinegar, and then I'll start researching when is the best time to give it back to them. But I do think that apple cider vinegar is great. It's not the product that's the problem. It was my utilization of the product, if that makes sense. So I still think that apple cider vinegar is great. It's certainly a lot less effort than the raw garlic option that I told you about, with the same types of benefits. It's just gut health and ridding your birds of excess parasites. So let me know in the comments if you use apple cider vinegar. Again, if you don't use the one that's got the mother, which is the one where you have to shake it up because it's got all that crap in the bottom, which is good, it's normal, leave it. Then you're not really getting as many benefits. Apple cider vinegar, I've made facial toner with apple cider vinegar and filtered water. You can put it in, you can make salad dressings with it. You can put it in water. I had horrible gallstone problems right after my daughter was born, and that really helped with the pain. But it's all about, you know, alkalinity and acidity and all that kind of stuff. So looking into that, but that's why we need to give our chickens a break from it for a little while. So kind of embarrassing video, because I'm admitting that, you know, I didn't know everything about this subject, but now I know more and I want to help. So let me know in the comments if you use anything, you know, in your chicken's water or anything like that, just as a preventative, you know, health type thing. You know, what the weather's like where you are. Just let us know what you're thinking. But now you know a little bit more, hopefully, about apple cider vinegar and how it can potentially help your chickens, but also, you know, having that balance so that good intentions don't turn into something that's detrimental to the health of your birds. So I'm Sarah, the Real Simple Mama. Thanks for watching.